Hello and welcome to a guided demo on how to use ORTH as your own personal agronomist. After the onboarding questions, you are asked to mark where your farm is located. In this case, my farm number 1 is located in Ica, Peru. If I wish to change the farm name, I can do it from here. If I wish to change the location, I can do it from here in the top left icon. This will just locate where all my plots are. It's essential for us to create the plots for us to be able to get the most essential insights. Let's get started by drawing some of our plots. We'll start with one plot. In this case, I produce blueberries, so we're going to create a blueberry plot, clicking on Create Plot. The next thing that I will do is I will mark the boundaries. And this will not only allow me to assign a specific plot name, in this case I will call it plot A, but also to select a crop, in this case blueberries. Automatically I will reach this newly created plot state where I can see already the hectarage or the acreage, in the case where I have set up with acres or hectares in my settings, and you will also be able to see that it's a rather incomplete profile. If I click on the top right expanding icon, I will be able to see all the different information that I can bring to this plot to be able to add context and information. We will now run through what these different categories of information are and why they are so useful to increase this plot's confidence score. I'll take just a second to explain why confidence score is so important. As you can see, this newly created plot is only set at 20%. Why? Because we only know the location, the crop, and because we have this, we're also able to understand the weather with a high level of precision, which is obviously very interesting when we want to get agronomic advice specific to our location with the weather in consideration. But there is so much more that we can bring to ORTH to be able to get much more in-depth answers with context. So how do we increase our confidence score? We're going to want to complete the profile. In this case, I will be asked, what variety do I grow? The first thing I will mark here is that I grow Duke. The second thing I'll be asked is, what plot type do I have? In this case, I grow in an open plot. We'll then go into soil type. Now, the soil that I have here is sandy soil, and the irrigation system, which is the next question, in my case, is surface drip. I will be asked if I have any disease in my plot. Now, I have mildew, therefore I will go on fungal, and I will mark that I have powdery mildew, to be specific. And the next thing that I'll be asked is, when was my plantation date? Now, I planted in April, so I will mark the 1st of April, and I will specify what is the density of plants that I have in this plot, in this specific plot. Now, in plot A, I have about 650 plants per hectare, so it's going to automatically convert my ratio of plants per hectare to my total number of plants. Or, if you know exactly the total number of plants that you have, you can simply input the number here. And because we know the hectarage or the acreage that we have for the specified plot, it's going to automatically give us our density in ratio. Next, for everyone and specifically for ORTH, it's very important to understand what your objectives are in terms of yields. So it will ask you what was your yield last season and what your objective yield is this next upcoming season. So we're going to specify that I did around 13 tons per hectare in 2025 in June, from June 1st to June 20th. So that's last season, 13 tons. And the next thing is I want to do 17 tons per hectare next year. So I will select that in 2026, in the same harvest window, I will want to do 17. Now this is very important because it will always take this into consideration, whatever question I ask ORTH, and you'll realize that it's becoming your companion, always with your best interests. So it's very important to be precise in these steps if we want to have very precise answers. In terms of target markets, I obviously sell in Peru, which is my local market, but I also export. Now I can export to the United States, Australia, and let's say Ecuador, just for the sake of the example. This is where it gets very interesting. If we have a high frequency of collection of analysis, this could be water analysis, soil analysis, we could have leaf analysis as well, or any other type of agronomic report, or even research regarding our variety if you use seeds from a breeder. And all of this context and this educational material specific around your plot, your farm, or your varieties is very, very interesting for ORTH to analyze and take into context. It allows us to not have to remember every single piece of analysis, maybe around our nitrogen from maybe 2 months ago. ORTH will take care of this. So it's very interesting to start building a repository of data for this specific plot in ORTH and leverage artificial intelligence to get the best insights. Do not be concerned. ORTH never uses your own data for its own benefit to then use it for your next door neighbor. This is all held in a private environment that is not training ORTH. So it's your intellectual property, everything that you upload, in case you're concerned about privacy. So in my case, I will click here in soil analysis. I know I have one uploaded here. So I will type soil analysis and I will find this one here. So it's been uploaded. This is just one out of many reports. There is no limit. Great. As you can see, I have reached now 92% completion rate for my plot. And this is great. When we consult here, our plot info, our documents, if we want to upload more files, our historical data. And now we're in a position with the 5 free daily messages to ask a question. Now we'll take into consideration the weather, I'll take into consideration all the information that I have. And I can go here and ask my first question. Now if the question is around specific fruit that might have powdery mildew and I wanted to take a picture, I could download the app from here at the bottom left, take a picture and ask ORTH straight from there. I can also send that picture to my computer, upload it to the chat and ask, hey, what is wrong with this blueberry? And we're going to ask, because I've seen a picture, as you can see here, of a blueberry that has some fungal disease. So we're going to ask, what is the plan for this and what we can do? Hi, I have seen my blueberries look like this recently. What can I do this week to take care of the situation? As you can see, it's got a picture that I can take with my phone or even upload via web. And ORTH will begin thinking and tapping into the best agronomic advice and also the context and the weather conditions present. So we're beginning to get an answer. It will always run through different steps. First of all, it will give us here a summary of the situation and what's happening. So it's very quickly identified the gray mold that it has with its scientific name, and it will explain why this happens, okay? It will understand also why the season that we've marked in our plantation date and the impact that this can have, but also because it's very familiar with the regional diseases and fungal diseases that are most common, specific for this crop and variety. It's very clear around the first safe step. So it says remove and destroy all affected berries and debris today. to cut the fungus at the source. It will also be very clear around how to deal with it after. The quick plan for this week, today and tomorrow, to prune for better airflow and to thin out the dense areas, and aiming for 20-30% removal of the infected spots. It will also give us very specific information about what to do with fungicides, what the recommended mix is, and when to spray. So we'll look into the spray window that it knows from the area, giving the weather forecast for the next week, and it will also determine some watch points. It will tell us what to look out for, so that we can assign this to our team to keep an eye out for the fuzzy spots, for example. And it does say that there is no rain expected. It's giving you a level of confidence of 75% around what to do here, with its rationale, and it will always give you the recommendation to double check. So it says confirm with a local extension or a certified agronomist before applying the chemicals. And it does say, as usual, it brings you a follow-up. What about checking irrigation timing for the week, or market prices for your blueberries to plan around quality? Yes, please. So I've asked it to continue and give me an irrigation timing for my specific variety in plot A. And it's going very in detail now around the steps that I should take. So it does recommend that I check the soil moisture, exactly what it thinks I should do on Monday. So the run time and the notes, Wednesday and Friday the same, okay, and the run time. So it's going to continue in a very natural way to guide us towards the best actions and the best way of using our time and our week. And I truly recommend, as a summary, that you complete your plot profile as best as possible with a high level of confidence. I also recommend that we give it as much information as possible.